Alright, so welcome YouTube. Today I'm going to be making tortilla soup again. Now, I am doing it differently than I did it the last time I made chicken noodle soup fully, strained the broth out, and got 4 cups of the broth. Then I'm also doing 2.25 pounds of chicken breasts instead of a whole chicken, but I'm gonna season the chicken breasts before baking it. So I'll see you guys in the next segment when I strain the broth. Alright, so YouTube, I'm gonna get 4 cups of chicken broth poured into a glass Tupperware container, and I'm using a collapsible steamer so I can separate the solids from the liquid, because whenever I make the actual soup, I want it to be nothing but the broth. And I'm gonna get a little more in there. Good enough for me. So I'll move on to the next segment now. Alright, so YouTube, the first step is to get the chicken breasts ready. Now, I forgot to start recording before I started getting into the first one, but I just drained the juice out of the package. I went with Purdue Harvest Land chicken breasts. It comes in a 2.25 ounce box. They're all individually wrapped as well. And I also forgot to say that I let the chicken broth completely get cool down. I'd say get about 12 hours. This is over 12 hours later from when I drained the broth out of the chicken noodle soup. Alright, so I forgot to mention I'm preheating the oven to 350, so I'm gonna get the chicken breasts seasoned. Now, like I said, the seasonings I use is salt and pepper. I prefer the grinder ones because it adds more flavor to it. Garlic powder and roasted garlic and herb seasoning. And I like to use poultry seasoning, so I'm gonna start off with this. Alright, so now that I got half of the one side season, I'm gonna rub the seasoning in until I know it's in there pretty good. I'm gonna do the same with all 6 on both sides. Alright, so I'm gonna give the oven a few more minutes for it to be done preheating, but I would cook the chicken breasts for 50 minutes to an hour. And for like the taco seasoning and salsa con queso, I prefer the Taco Bell branded stuff. But like everything else, it doesn't really matter the brand. As you can see here, the cream of potato soup and the green chilies diced is Great Value brand. But I like the Purdue Harvest Land chicken breasts the most, even though they're like about $12 for a box. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, the chicken breasts are done in the oven now, so I'm gonna go get them prepared to shred. Alright, well, that's mostly shredded. Good, fine enough for the soup, but I'm gonna let it cool down a bit before I shred the rest by hand. In the meantime, I'm gonna get the stovetop situated so it's easier for me to deal with the soup whenever I'm ready for it. Alright, so YouTube, I'm going to start off getting the soup made by putting the chicken broth in first. Now I just like to put it in first so I have liquid in there when I go to put other stuff in it. So the next step for me is getting the shredded up chicken in to the pot now. Alright, so YouTube, now that I got this all mixed up real well together, I'm going to put it on medium heat until it gets a consistent boil. Then after that, I'm gonna put a lid on it, then put it on low for about an hour to hour and a half. So I'll see you guys when I get myself a bowl of this. Alright, so YouTube, the soup is done now. It's been about an hour, so I'm going to pour myself a bowl of this. Alright, so I'm gonna get the tortilla chips mixed up in this soup, then I'm gonna let it cool off a couple minutes before I review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's get this soup reviewed now. overall the flavor, it has a cheesier and like bolder flavor of the soup. So overall, this is my favorite method of making the soup because it has the best flavoring in my opinion. So overall, I do love this method I came up with. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next one.